Okay, third grade. So what we're going to do today is we're going to review the trade first method for subtraction. I've already taught you two strategies the past couple days. We've learned count up and we have learned the expand and trade method yesterday. Okay? I want to give you a third way to subtract, and we've already touched on this a little bit this year. I just want to review it with you again, and it's the trade first method. Okay? So if I had 68 minus 49. And the trade first method, what you need to do is you need to first see if you need to make any trades. So you need to go to each place value and ask yourself, can you subtract or do you need to make some trades? Okay. So I'm going to look at my ones place value right now. I have a 9 and 49 and I have an 8 and 68. Okay. I could subtract those two numbers, but I'm going to get a negative number and we don't want to do that. We don't want any negative numbers. Okay. So what I can do here is I can make a trade. I can trade a 10 for some ones. Okay, if I do that third grade, I'm going to go next door to my 6 10s or my 60 that I have. I'm going to take a 10. I'm going to take a long away from there. If I do that, then I'll have 50 left or 5 10s. And remember, that 10 doesn't go away. We need to add that over to our 1. So if I had 8 ones to begin with, then we're going to add that 10 to our ones. So 10 plus 8 is 18. So I now have 18 ones. Okay. So now I look at my ones place again. Now I have more on top. So I don't need to make any trades there anymore. Let's look at our 10s place value now. Okay. So I have a 40 and 49 and I have a 50 right now from my 68. I have more on top, so I don't need to make any trades there either. So I can go ahead and subtract now. Okay, so 18 minus 9 is 9, and 50 minus 40 is 10. So 68 minus 49 gets us 19. Let's try another one. This time, let's try a 3-digit number by 2-digit number. So let's do 322 minus 64. Again, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if I need to make any trades. So I'm going to look at my ones. I have a 4 and a 2. I'm going to ask myself, do I have more on the floor or more on top? I have more on the floor, so I need to go next door. So I'm going to go next door to my 10s place, and I'm going to trade a 10 for some ones. So if I do that, I will have 1 10 or 10 left, and I'm going to add that 10 to my 1. So if I had 2, I'm going to add that 10 now to make 12. Okay, I'm still not going to subtract yet. I'm still going to see if I need to make any more trades. I'm going to go to my 10s column now. See, I have 6 10s or 60, and I have 1 10 up top. So I just have a 10 up there. I'm going to ask myself, do I have more on the floor or more on top? I have more on the floor, so that means I need to go next door. Okay, so I'm going to go next door and going to get 100. I'm going to trade 100 in for some 10s. If I do that, I'll have 200 left. And remember, there's 10 10s and 100. So I'm just going to add 10 again to my 10s place. So I'm going to add 10 to the 110 that I have. And I'll get 11. So now I can go ahead and subtract. So 12 minus 4. So 12 ones minus 4 ones is 8 ones. 11 10s minus 6 10s is 5 10s or 50. And then 200 minus 0 hundreds is 200. So my answer here, third grade, is 258. Let's try another example. This time, let's do a 3-digit by a 3-digit number. Sorry for that. Let's do a 3-digit by a 3-digit number, third grade. Okay. Let's do 300 63 minus 188. Okay. Again, I need to look to see if I have any trades. This time I'm going to draw some columns to separate my ones, tens, and hundreds. I'm going to look at my ones column. Do I have more on the floor or more on top? Hopefully you said in your head with me that you have more on the floor, so you need to go next door and trade a 10 for some ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to trade a 10 for some ones. So if I had 6 tens, I'll now have 5 tens. And remember, you're just going to add that 10 to the ones that you had. So 10 plus another 3 ones would give you 13. Now I'm good in my ones place. Let's look at our tens column though. Do you have more on the floor or more on top? Well, I have more on the floor again, so I need to go over to my hundreds to make some trades. So I'm going to trade in 100 for some tens. So if I do that, I'll have 200. And then remember, there's 10 tens and 100, so I'm just going to add 10 to the 5 tens that I had. So 10 plus another 5 is 15 tens. Now we can go ahead and subtract. So 13 ones minus 8 ones is 5 ones. 15 tens or 150 minus 8 tens or 80 is 7 tens or 70. And 200 minus 100 is 100. So our answer is 175. Okay. Now let's try one together in your math notebook here. Okay, let's do another 3-digit by 3-digit. This time let's do 432 minus 128. Okay. Now, our first step is to look at our ones place. Do you have more on the floor or more on top? I'm going to give you a couple seconds to determine that by yourself. Okay, hopefully you have thought about it and you realize that you have more on the floor, so you need to go next door to make a trade. Okay, so go ahead and try to make your trades by yourself and we'll see how you did. Okay, so if you made your trades, if you traded a 10 for some ones, you should have 2 tens left. And remember, that 10's not going away. You're just adding it over to your 1. So the 10 ones that you got from your 10 was added to your 2 ones that you already had. So 10 plus 2 gives you 12 ones. Okay, now let's look at your tens column. You have a 20 in each column. You have 2 tens and 2 tens up top. If they're equal, then you know your answer is going to be a 0. You don't need to do anything there. Okay, you don't need to make any trades. And then let's look at your hundreds column. You have more on top there too, so you don't need to make any trades. So that's all we had to do, just one trade. So let's go ahead and subtract. 12 minus 8 is 4. 20 minus 20 is 0. And 400 minus 100 is 300. So our answer here is 304. Okay, third grade. So that's trade first subtraction. The past couple days this week, we've learned the count up method. We have learned expand and trade.
Featuring good-to-go boxed meals with a side and freshly baked cookie, crowd-pleasing giant subs, and piled-high sandwich platters overflowing with.
And we have learned trade first, which was the one I just showed you. What I want you to do now is I want you to complete your ticket to group paper. And then I want you to complete the 3 subtraction problems that I've given you. In third grade, I'm not going to tell you anymore what subtraction strategy you should use. You have 3 really strong ways to subtract. I want you now to pick the best, the very, very best way for you. And I want you to use that strategy to always subtract. Off you go.